Hi there and welcome to Round Glass. I'm Vishvapani and thank you so much for joining me for this session of my series Qualities of Awareness. And today we're going to be exploring the quality of patience. So what bugs you? What are the little things that try your patience and what helps in that situation? So here's something that bugs me. If you've ever put together a piece of self-assembly furniture, you've probably encountered the limits of your patience. I've done all sorts of bookshelves, wardrobes, even a garden shed, and I have quite often reached a point where I think I followed the instructions, but something's gone wrong. A particular piece won't fit the way it's meant to in the picture. Is it upside down? Did I make a mistake? Is the material faulty? Or do I need to start again? Or maybe I should just take a hammer and smash the whole thing to pieces. Now, I've always found, or usually found, that the one who's made a mistake is actually me. I've learned that these things do work, but you need to keep cool. Things go wrong and you need to be patient and find out what it is that's gone wrong. So in today's practice, we'll be exploring this quality of patience, and it really means recognizing what's happening without reacting in an unhelpful way. And then in meditation, we can allow our experience to unfold. And so now there's something to be careful about here. When we do meditation, we hear an instruction to pay attention to breath and body. And so we think, well, that's my goal. It doesn't sound too difficult. And the promise is, if we do that, then we're going to feel calm and peaceful, which is what we really want. But what do we find when we start? Well, there are lots of thoughts. Maybe busy thoughts, maybe anxious thoughts, maybe frightened thoughts. And all that is exactly what we wanted to escape. So what do? We tell ourselves that now we've found another thing we're really bad at. So great. In other words, we judge ourselves and we find ourselves wanting. And this practice was supposed to be relaxing. So if something like that happens, the approach we need is patience. If we're feeling frightened or anxious, then that's what we need to bring to our awareness. Whatever's happening, patience allows us to let it unfold. Jon Kabat-Zinn uses the example of a lava that becomes a chrysalis and slowly transforms into a butterfly. And we can't hurry that along. You know, the butterfly will emerge when it's ready. There is no life that is free of difficulty and dissatisfaction. I mean, that is the great lesson that we need to learn through becoming more aware. The question is how we respond. And actually everything worthwhile in life requires us to be patient. That includes meditation. Meditation isn't about having amazing experiences, although that sometimes happens. It's about allowing space. Rather than filling our minds with stimulation and experiences and all sorts of things. And that's the only way to be fully present. The only time we can do it is right now. So earlier I asked, what are the little things that try your patience? And we got a few. Slow talkers. I do talk slightly slowly myself. Bad grammar. Tardy people. Filling out forms, I absolutely agree about that one. Filling out forms, I hate it. Hearing the neighbours' conversations. Traffic, yes. So those are a few of the things you shared. Thank you all. We can probably recognise each other's experience, and that's a good starting point as well. So let's find a way to sit that's going to be comfortable but alert. All right. So just taking a bit of time to set up our posture. And I think this is where patience starts. You know, just recognizing that there's a transition, not just plonking ourselves down and expecting meditation to happen. Patiently coming to be present. So, present with the body. And what does the body need? What do we need to be able to sit in a way that's alert but comfortable? And noticing our minds. And the chances are that our attention is still to some extent with the things that we have been doing. And one of the things that we have been doing may be thinking about what we will be doing, or thinking about something else, all of the things that can be on our minds. So now that doesn't mean that we can't meditate today, if that is the case. What it means is that's our starting point. And we may need to be patient as we make a gradual transition. One way to think about that transition is as a transition from thinking to sensing. So to help us settle into the practice, we're just going to bring our awareness to the senses. As we sit, you can start with the sense of touch, feeling, the felt sense of the body, resting, settling. So just feeling the body. And as we do this practice, I will leave some spaces, some gaps where I'm not speaking. And that's partly so that we can just be with our experience patiently. And the mind can be, looking for the next instruction, the next bit of guidance. When we notice that, just settle back again. So letting the attention rest on the breathing. And we do need to look for ways to engage with the breathing, ways to find it interesting. For example, we can notice how the breathing changes all the time. We can explore how the breath feels in different parts of the body. There's actually a lot of different sensations. So there's the breath in the tummy, in the chest, where we feel the lungs moving and the muscles of the chest moving against the clothing, or the breasts. and the breath in the nostrils, windpipe. So finding somewhere to settle our attention that engages us. So breathing, settling, and as we do that, noticing our thoughts. What's happening in our thoughts? You know, our thoughts will have been our companion. There will have been thoughts, probably anyway. What are they saying to us? What are they saying? What are they interested in? What are they about? Are they about the future, the past? And just acknowledge that. And also notice the feeling that goes with the thoughts. Are they busy thoughts? Are they just drifty thoughts? Or some other kind of thought? So the thoughts are usually expressing a desire to be elsewhere. A sense that this moment isn't enough. And when we let go of the thoughts, we can feel slightly bereft, that there's a gap, and that's where we need to stay. And this is patience, just being with that sense of agitation, if there is one, rather than filling it with thinking about stuff. So each time thoughts come along, we will just let them go again. If that's possible, as best we can, disentangling ourselves from our thoughts. So we do need little prompts just to stay present. And just gently guiding our attention back. Below the thoughts are feelings. So as we sit quietly, may be aware of busy thoughts or impulses. Can we have a sense of the feeling, the emotion? And one way to locate that is just to notice the body and whether in the body there's anything that feels tense, that feels maybe a bit jumpy or agitated. Of course there might not be, but it's that agitated feeling that is the impulse to busy ourselves. So what do we notice? And a way to connect with that feeling in the body is using the breath to imagine that the breath is flowing into that area. So just staying with our experience, settling, resting. And if we can stay in that space, just really giving space to our experience, then it never stays the same. Things change, things emerge. So the breath is our anchor. Our intention is to be present. Our intention is to be patient. And our impulses to think, they're like currents in the water, tugging a boat in a certain direction. Breath anchors the boat. And a boat with an anchor dropped will roughly stay still. And every time the current pulls, we can notice that tug. Notice that impulse. Maybe having a sense of a deeper connection as we settle. Connecting more deeply with this moment. Settling, absorbing, resting. Breathing. Just patiently sitting, confident that our experience will settle, unfold in its own time. And starting to make transition now. Again, just being patient. So when we hear the word transition, maybe we hear the word end instead, but it's not the same. It's a transition. Just gradually shifting from one mode to the next. To help that, a little bit of movement, fingers, the shoulders, that helps us make the transition by moving from stillness to movement. When we're ready, just gently bringing the practice to a close. Okay. So actually there's a bit more transition to happen now, which is just reflecting on the practice, which I'll be saying a few words about it. But again, noticing if our mind jumps ahead to, oh right, it's over now. So let's just take our time to reflect on what happened today. And whatever happened, the practice was just to be with it. So we need to take some time just to notice. Let's reflect. And patience is the quality we need to stay with our experience in the practice. It's connected with having confidence that something will happen even if we don't get immediate results. It's quite easy, to think, to sit down, sit for a few minutes, mind's busy, and you just think, oh well, it's clearly not going to work today. And so we just stop meditating. Well, we need patience at that point. One thing that we learn through meditation is that the mind doesn't like to take orders. So it's more like a puppy than a trained dog. If you want the puppy to walk in one direction, it's quite likely to go running off in the other direction. And shouting at it doesn't help. It takes time for the mind to settle. And it takes much longer for the mind to really mature so that the quality like patience is natural to it. And being patient is easier said than done. The reason is that we all have developed ways of coping with challenges. Life brings these challenges to us. So what do? Maybe we like to keep ourselves busy. Maybe we like to chase after pleasure. Maybe we get angry with ourselves or with other people. And that's our personality, that's our character. So a starting point is recognizing our tendencies. That tendency, to be a bit grumpy or a bit morose or something, it doesn't make us better or worse than other people, but these are the conditions that we need to work with. And meditation comes in for a particular reason. Modern culture is so good at filling in all of those gaps in our experience. Any time that nothing much is happening, hey presto, our phone is there. It's there to stimulate us, to connect us to others, or maybe just distract us. So the opportunities to learn patience get squeezed out, and it's something we need to learn. Meditation is a good place, but really we need to do this in the whole of our lives. And one very good place to start is how we relate to technology. And if when I say those words you find yourself feeling guilty, don't worry. The people who made the technology have put you in that position. Another important learning ground is our communication. How we relate to other people, because there's nothing more irritating than other people. And a more old-fashioned word for patience is forbearance, and that means being able to forgive someone or control yourself in a difficult situation. It means not going with the sort of impulses you could call reactions. And in meditation we can start to notice those impulses and feel what's behind them, feel the emotions that's behind them. And that's something that we can do in meditation, but actually it's a challenge for the whole of our life. And give it a go today. So I want to finish with some really beautiful lines by Walt Whitman, the greatest of all American poets, and he's musing on patience. A noiseless, patient spider I marked, where on a little promontory it stood, isolated. Marked how, to explore the vacant, vast surroundings, it launched forth filament, filament, filament out of itself, ever unreeling them, ever tirelessly speeding them. And you, oh my soul, where you stand surrounded, surrounded in measureless oceans of space, ceaselessly musing, venturing, throwing, seeking the spheres to connect them, till the bridge you will need be formed, till the ductile anchor hold, till the gossamer thread you fling, catch somewhere, oh my soul. Wonderful stuff. So thank you for sharing this time with me, and please continue to explore meditation with us. You can check out our daily live meditations at round.glass or on our app. And really have a good day wherever you are, and whatever happens, as best you can, be patient.